back.
Hey.
How have you been feeling lately?
I've been feeling alright. Yeah, feeling alright.
Good. So have you thought any more about what we discussed last time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you saying that you had already acknowledged kind of what you were feeling and that you were trying to work to address it, but you just kind of wanted to feel out some different ways of addressing what you've been going through and what you've been feeling. So have you thought any more about that?
Yeah, I've definitely been thinking a lot, and being completely honest, like when spring break and stuff comes around, like that kind of like stirs up like a lot of stuff. So especially like going home to Florida,
Yeah.
so that kind of like, I don't know, that makes me more like restrictive on my diet and like focused on stuff. And especially like this week with everything going on, like we've been eating out like every night, and that's also been stressing me out too. So that's kind of been like putting me backwards mentally, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, so you feel like you haven't really made as many steps forward as you would have liked to.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah, but maybe, this this week, spring break, can kind of be like a jump start forward.
Mm-hmm.
It can help us get your mind right and kind of just help you feel a little better about yourself. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it definitely, like, it's up to me, like, how I go into it, and I think that it's up to me on how, like, whether I decide, like, if I'm gonna be, like, super obsessive about it, or if I'm gonna, like, choose to just, like, love myself in spite of it. And I also think, too, like, it's helpful because I'm going home, so, like, I'll have my mom and stuff like that to kind of, like, help regulate and not let me go, like, crazy or anything like that, you know?
Right, so your mom is pretty good about being there for you and helping, like, support your decisions, like, food and stuff like that.
Yeah. She's amazing for sure, and I think that like she's really supportive and stuff like that. I think that I just put a lot of pressure on myself to be like the perfect kid.
Yeah.
And so I think that like sometimes not sometimes, but I know that I like to put words in people's mouths and thoughts in their mind of me.
Mm-hmm.
So like I worry sometimes like if I know that I've like gained a little bit of weight, like I feel like she's gonna be upset or something like that.
Yeah.
Which that's just me being hard on myself,
Right.
you know? So like those are the things that like I worry about, but that's not anything that like she's ever done to make me feel that way. That's just like how I perceive things, you know?
Yeah, like from how you have described her, it seems like she's very supportive and very much loves you despite who you are or mistakes you've made, or much less what you eat or what you look like. I think that it seems, from what you're telling me, that she loves you very much and that you have a very supportive household.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's a good transition. Would you mind if we did this eco map? Let me explain a little bit about it. We'll put you in the center.
Okay.
And then we're just going to try to discuss some different systems that are meaningful in your life and impact you in these bubbles around, and then we'll use different ways of connecting the bubbles to yourself. Okay. Depending on the relationship that you have with these things. So we'll put you in the middle. It is M-A-K.
Yeah.
M-A-K. Okay. And then, so let me just explain a little bit about this.
Okay.
So a system is things in your life that have to do with more than one person. So it's not just you and your favorite color is blue or something like that. It has to be impact more than just you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a bunch of different things, just different relationships that you have with. It can be things, it can be people, it can be institutions, it can be different things. Okay. And we'll connect them using these few different things right here. So we'll do a bold line if it's like a strong relationship, a thinner one if it's a little bit more tenuous. We'll do zigzags, connecting the system to yourself. If it's a stressful relationship, if there's a broken relationship, we'll just kind of represent it like this. And then we'll use arrows to point which way the energy flows. Like if you have a positive relationship coming back and forth, the arrows will go back and forth. Or maybe you feel like you're pouring more into something than it's pouring into you, or you're receiving more than you're pouring into. So different things like that. Okay. So, I mean, this is just a template that we have. We don't have to fill all these bubbles in. But yeah, just let me know if you can think of anything that might be significant in your life.
So, like, could you give me, like, a couple examples? Because the only thing I can think about is, like, relationships with people. So, like, what would, like, maybe, like, what are a couple, like, general examples of, like, what else could be in here, you know?
Right. So I could put softball as one because I do that. That's a big influence in my life. But I also, it relates me to people and it relates me to other things like that. So you can do organizations. You can do, I'm not going to tell you what to say, but things like that. Yeah, I could do family, but then you could separate family into different categories depending on if maybe certain people or a person is more impactful or not, or just different things like that. Just whatever you feel like has a big impact in your life.
Okay. So I guess like going off of what we were talking about, I guess food would definitely be something.
Okay.
So would that count? I guess.
Yeah, that could count. I think.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Okay, we'll just go one at a time. So with food, do you feel like you have a strong relationship or more of a weak relationship with food?
I guess right now it's probably more of like a weaker relationship because I've gotten like more controlling over it and not necessarily like if I eat something, like I said last time, like if I eat something off track, like I feel really bad about it.
Okay.
So I guess like I feel like that would be a weaker relationship because it's not like healthy in a way.
Do you feel like this relationship is going back and forth or just
like fluctuating?
Like, do you think that your relationship with food, like food has a good relationship with you as well as you having a good relationship with food? I guess that's hard with food, but we'll just do this one like that.
Okay. I feel like I understand what you're trying to say though, and I probably picked the hardest thing.
Okay, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
Let's see. I don't know. I'm thinking of like only basic stuff, so like this and school.
Basic. School is definitely relevant, I think.
Yeah.
So with this, we could say like, do you get as much out of school as you put into school?
Yes.
So do you think that's more of an even back and forth relationship? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And would we make these arrows, do you think, bold or a little thinner?
I feel like it'd be strong because I know, like, I've learned by now, like, how I need to study, and I've kind of gotten to the point where, like, it's based off of me, and the work that I put in is the grade that I get out. So I do think that, like, it's a very mutual relationship in that aspect.
Okay, so do you think this would represent, do these bold but kind of even?
Yes. I would say it's pretty even.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yes. What else? What else is?
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, like, I'm in Pi, so that could definitely be like
I definitely think that's
like a Greek club.
Makes sense.
Yes.
What about that? How do you think we would draw connections to yourself with Pi?
I definitely think that this semester it has been more like Pi giving to me than me being able to give back to them.
Okay, so we could do either just a thick arrow towards you, or we could do a thick arrow towards you and maybe a thin arrow towards Pi.
Yeah.
Which would do you?
I said yes. I would say definitely from Pi to me is like a really thick arrow.
Okay.
But then from me to Pi is like a thinner one, just because like I've just been like struggling a lot. So like I really don't feel like because I haven't really been able to love myself, that I haven't been able to love them back as much as they've been able to love me.
No, yeah,
so,
that's good. That's good. I think that's definitely helping us to understand a few things. Anything else? From what you said, it sounds like you have, I don't know about your family, but maybe a good relationship with your mom.
Yeah,
or
definitely.
we can do have up make us however you like.
That one. No, definitely. I mean, we could definitely do two different, because I have a different relationship with my mom and my dad. So maybe they could be like their own thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So mom as one and dad as one, or mom and dad?
Mom as one and then dad as one. Yeah.
Okay. So how would you consider your relationship with mom?
I would it'd be definitely, I think, the same thing as Pi. I feel like just with her trying to push me to finish school.
Right.
So I would definitely say it's a thicker arrow from mom to me.
Okay.
And then there's not a medium thick arrow, but I do feel like it's mutual, but I definitely feel like she's given more to me than I definitely have given to her.
Okay, well we can do like maybe like a bold thing.
Yeah, okay. That's a good compromise.
Like maybe like that, sort of.
That makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And dad, could even put here. What would you say with dad?
Yeah. With my dad, I would definitely say, I feel like with my dad it'd probably be like thin arrows, both, like, so both ways.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because my mom and I are like, my dad and I are close, but I feel like my mom and I are definitely closer, and she's the person that I call, like, every day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, does this look about right so far?
Yes,
Yeah?
it does. Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Hmm.
No, that's okay. I mean, whatever. Is there maybe any more specific people that are very influential, or like they can be separated out, or any different extracurriculars or groups that you're part of, or?
I think it's really funny because this semester I kind of did like the opposite, and so freshman year I was super involved, and then senior year I've kind of like put on the brakes. So like I'm really just involved in Pi, and then kind of like my family and friends and stuff like that.
No,
so
that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, can we go back over this one just to make sure that this is all clear and that I'm understanding, and that you can change anything if you would like to. If you look down here and you're like, oh, this feels a little bit more something. Actually, for food, since you were saying that it's kind of an iffy relationship with food right now, how about we do a zigzag going towards food? Because
that's what I was thinking.
There's not, it's a relationship still, but it has ups and downs.
Yes.
Would you say that?
Yes.
Okay. We'll do it more like this. Is that about right? Okay, when we come to school, it's bold both ways, meaning you pretty much get out of it the same that you put into it. You know that you have to work hard in order to receive what you want. Does this look about right? And Pi, you're receiving a lot because you're just kind of feeling a lot of pressure to love yourself before you can love others, and so you're giving a little bit less towards Pi. Now, okay. And with Dad, we have kind of thin air going both ways, where there's still definitely a good relationship there and it's not broken, but just maybe not as strong as it could be. Yeah?
Yep.
And then with Mom, Mom's really trying to love you and like trying just to be a good mom, I think, and pouring a lot into you, and definitely because she can tell that you need it right now, and she can definitely see that, and she knows you really well. And then you have a good relationship back with Mom, but again, like with Pi, just trying to figure out how to give as much as you can. Yeah? Does that sound about right?
Yep, that hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. No, I think that this is good. I think it definitely shows that you're kind of focusing on yourself, and you're trying to learn who you are and how you process things, and I think that's really good. I think that clearly we can see all through here that while you do have a stressful relationship with food, but maybe it's not that's not the only stressor in your life. So how does this chart make you feel as we're going through it?
I think that it's like fairly accurate, and I also feel like too, like and looking at this, like this is the one thing I can control in my life, which is probably why it's the most stressful, because I can't control anything else. So like the one thing that I do control of, I like tightly grip it. But I think with school too, like I don't know, everything just kind of, it makes more sense, and plus being a visual person, like this actually like really helps to like see everything written out.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. So do you think that since you said that food is the one thing that you can control, maybe you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself? Like, this is what I'm hearing, that you're putting so much pressure on yourself to have a good relationship with food that maybe it's stressing you out a little bit extra.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I know that like just being with my personality type and with dance and everything like that, like I put so much pressure on appearance and to look a certain way and all of that stuff, and so when I'm not able to work out, then I kind of like turn to food, and I'm very like mentally like just a checklist kind of like all these things and all that, and so I think that, like I said, that's the one thing I can control is my appearance and how I present myself to people. So like that's kind of what I throw myself into when I feel so out of control of everything else.
Yeah, no, that makes sense for sure. Do you think that, or going forward, how do you think that maybe you could think about food in a little bit more positive light? Like, what are some goals that you would like to set for the next week or so until we meet again to help you? Because like you said, like this is what you throw yourself into, and I've heard that it's not really having the most positive effect on you. So I think that there are definitely some things that we could work through, and that you could maybe make a goal to help.
I think for me, I think it's maybe having a mantra of something to say. So like when I get like really stressed out or overwhelmed or like just like I'm not happy with the way that I look or anything like that, like maybe having something to say like over again in those situations to kind of help me like get out of my head.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good, I think. Yeah, I mean everybody processes things differently. Everybody needs different encouragement, and I think that a positive slogan or something would be very beneficial.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we're coming to a close, McKenna, how did you feel about today? How do you feel about what we've been talking about, and is it helpful to you at all? What have you liked? Is there anything that you'd like to talk differently about going forward that we didn't get to today, maybe, or something like that?
I think it's definitely helping, just because I don't know, I get so in my head and then I don't tell people what I'm actually feeling or like let people in. So like kind of I'm not being forced, like I want to be here, but like just having this kind of like forced environment, I guess, to talk about stuff. I think that like that does help. And just like, I don't know, as soon as it gets out, I'm like, okay, we're being a little ridiculous, you know, in a way. But like, I think that, I don't know, and then the visual of everything, like seeing that, like, oh wow, like the one thing in my life that I really can have full control of is the one stressful thing. And so I think that also like kind of was just like a light bulb moment of seeing how that goes. And I think that maybe for me is like focusing on setting that mantra and that goal, and that could definitely be a good goal to like for me to learn how to talk positively to myself.
Good, that's good. Yeah, so let me just go over what we talked about today just to make sure that I'm on the same page. You were just talking about how you have had more of a complicated relationship with food, and that you feel like you can control that really well, but that maybe the different stresses in your life pretty much come from not being able to control it, and so kind of focus all your energy onto food and onto your appearance, not just food, but more so how food affects you maybe. So I think that's really good. I think it's really good that we're making progress in seeing what's happening, or seeing a relationship to things and how these things affect you as a person. So I think that's really good. I think being able to acknowledge that you're a visual person and that this helps, and that maybe you haven't realized things because you've never taken a step back to see the different relationships of things. I think that that's really good. I think you're doing very good. I think it's good that you're coming in and allowing us to have these conversations. But yeah, I definitely think for the next week or so, maybe viewing yourself in more of a positive light and realizing that just because you can't control these things doesn't mean they're bad. And just because you can control your relationship with food isn't the end of the world if it's not 100% perfect all the time. So I think that's really good that we're making steps forward and that we're making progress, and I think this has definitely helped. So is there anything that you'd like to talk about next time we meet?
Honestly, I can't think of anything now, but I'm sure I'll think of something later.
That's okay. Yeah, I'll still be here for sure. Okay. So thank you so much for taking time to go over this with me, and I'm very glad that we got to do this, and I'll see you next time.
Okay. Thank you.